Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. My name is Ken White. I'm the Executive Director of the Maryland Black Chamber of Commerce, and I want to welcome you guys to this series. Thank you for participating. And we're going to do a quick round of introductions. Just go around and tell us who you are and what your business is. We'll start with New American Restoration.
Hi, I'm Terrence. Is this off? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep.
My name is Terrence Bell. I'm with New American Restoration. I'm the owner of it. We are a fire, water, mold restoration company. We also do biohazards, which is crime scene cleanups, suicide, homicide, unattended deaths. And that's a little bit about me.
All right, great. Um, Adams Autopilot. You're not on mute, but we can't hear you. Now you're on mute. Adam going once, Adams twice. Okay, we'll go over now to Valerie.
Hello, sorry, I'm trying to get my headphones connected. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Valerie Hames. I own a travel and event company, Sunray Management. And I forgot what else you wanted. So I
That's
fiddled.
good. I'm making note of that. Travel. Okay, gotcha. All right,
Yes.
real quick, Veronica. Veronica's connecting. We'll go to KA.
Hi, I'm Kaya. I'm in media, slash music slash television.
Okay, cool. What's your name?
Kaya.
Kaya? Okay, hey
Yeah.
there. All right. Vicky, you with us?
Hi, Ken.
Hey there.
Yeah, I'm here again. So the company is Asha IT Consulting. It's a technology security management cybersecurity company. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Vicky. And Vicky's on our Prince George's Advisory Board. Linda, real quick. Linda Stowe.
Hi, my name is Linda Stowe. I am with a new organization called I Remember, and we remember deceased loved ones. We have keepsakes designed to let the recipients know that their loved ones are not forgotten.
Okay, cool. With that being said, Eddie, I'll turn it back over to you. It's 4:03.
Absolutely. So yeah, I just want to start by saying thanks to y'all for joining us this afternoon. I know y'all are really busy, but thanks for really taking the time to come and join us for another presentation. So to those who don't know who I am, my name is Eddie Agassi, and I'm a branding expert, speaker, and founder of Apricot Branding. So at Apricot Branding, I help small to mid-sized business owners really clarify their strategy, refine their design, and amplify their messaging so that way they could achieve bigger results in their marketing and sales efforts. So I'm going to go ahead and put my link in the chat. I hope you have your links in the chat as well, and then we're going to dive right in. So yeah, I hope everyone is muted, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on my screen share. Share this time. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So I also want to thank Mr. Ken White and the rest of our board of directors at the NBCC for actually making this event possible and a success, as well as FSC First for really helping us to promote the events. So those who don't know, this event is actually part of a larger series called Elevate Your Brand. So in our last presentation, we talked about aligning your branding with your sales. And it was all about really gaining a deeper understanding of how customers think, so that way we could assure that we're speaking to them in the right way. So in this presentation, we'll be talking about uncovering your brand's uniqueness. Uncovering your brand's uniqueness, because branding, it's similar to gold mining. It's similar to gold mining. So it's all about taking the time to really uncover what are some of our brand's unique characteristics. What are some of the unique values that we provide to our customers? What are we bringing to the table that no one else in our industry is bringing? And when we're able to really take the time to uncover our brand's uniqueness, that could be a really crucial part of our success. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this presentation, is uncovering your brand's uniqueness. So let's dive in. So in this presentation, we're going to talk about the importance of having a clearly differentiated brand. The importance of having a clearly differentiated brand. We're going to talk about the steps to uncovering your brand's unique strengths. So what are some steps that you can implement in your business to begin to uncover your brand's unique strengths? And I'll also be sharing with you some of the strategies that have been used by both small businesses and boutique brands to larger Fortune 500 companies to stand out in highly competitive marketplaces. So I'm really excited about this presentation. I hope you have been looking forward to it as well. So let's dive in. So when you look at my screen right here, this is a picture of Times Square, New York. So this is a picture of Times Square, New York. So if you've ever been to Times Square, you're probably familiar with the energy that it has. So it's a very busy area where you're constantly being bombarded with all kinds of different advertisements from so many different brands. So the reason why I use this picture was to serve as a metaphor to describe the state of the world today, because we live in a world that's full of so much competition. We live in a world that's highly competitive. So our customers, they're constantly being bombarded with so many different advertisements from so many different brands. So back in the day, if you wanted to start a business, you only had to compete with other businesses in your local community. But nowadays, with the dot-com bubble, with the rise of the internet and globalization, you now have to compete with hundreds, if not thousands of competitors who are selling similar things to what you're selling. So this is a huge challenge for a lot of businesses is how can we stand out when we're in a highly competitive marketplace? How can we stand out and reach our customers in a highly competitive field? So we need to start by really understanding the importance of being different, because a lot of people, they put a lot of effort into being better. So I'm not saying that being better doesn't matter. You should still try to make your offers as good as you can, but it's a much more powerful thing to be different because, so for example, if I was trying to compete with Amazon, I can't possibly be better than Amazon because I'm a much smaller business. I don't have the resources. I don't have the budget. But if I'm different, that would allow me to compete with companies that are 10 times larger than my size. So being different is much more valuable than being better. And being different really allows you to take your brand to the next level and compete with larger companies. Another reason why it's better to be different is that, like we said in our previous presentation, the way people think is they have a logical brain, they have an emotional brain, and they have a primal brain. So when you're trying to be better than all the others, you're speaking more to the primal brain. So you're speaking more to the logical brain. So the logical brain is more concerned with which is better. The logical brain wants to see the facts, the details, the statistics. But the primal brain is what's more responsible for customers' decision-making. And the primal brain wants to see something different. So when you have a brand that's clearly differentiated, that would allow you to speak to that primal brain. So that's another reason why it's much better to be different than to be better. And that's what branding is all about. So branding is the art of differentiation. It's all about how can we stand out when we're in a highly competitive marketplace. So in order to really uncover our brand's uniqueness, here are some steps that we need to take first. So first, we need to take a moment to just understand our niche or our industry. We need to take some time to really understand the industry or the category that we're in, because different industries have different requirements. They have different ways of doing things. Some industries are more standardized than others. So when we're able to really understand our niche or our industry, that's the first step towards uncovering our brand's uniqueness, because there might be certain unmet needs inside your industry that other people aren't providing. Secondly, we need to take the time to really analyze our competition. So who are the other people who are selling what we're selling? So you might have hundreds, if not thousands of competitors, but you don't have to analyze every single person, especially because you may not have the budget. So you could just find maybe 10 competitors and just compare them to what you're offering. So by analyzing the competition, that will help to give you a much clearer idea of how you can differentiate your brand from others based on what they're offering. So there are different types of competition. So you have your direct competition who are selling the exact same thing. And then you also have your indirect competition who they may not be selling the same thing, but they're speaking to the same customers as you are. And then you also have the market share dominators. So these are the most successful brands in your industry. So by understanding who these people are, what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong, that could give you a clearer picture of how you can differentiate your brand from the others. Next, it's really crucial to take the time to really empathize with your customers. So who are the customers who are buying this offer? Because your customers, they're kind of like, it's kind of like an election and they're voting with their dollars. They're the ones who have the buying power. So we need to really take the time to understand what are the unique needs that customers have that other brands may not be providing. And also, when we're able to really map out the journey that customers go through, that would open the door to more opportunities for us to differentiate our brands. So when I talk about the journey, I'm referring to, for example, how customers find you online, how they use your service, what happens after, how do you handle customer support? These are all branded touch points, the different ways that they interact with your brand. It could even be how they visit your retail store. All these things form a journey or a story in the customer's mind. And when you're able to map out that story, you could uncover different ways to make the journey more unique and much more tailored. So these are the first steps that need to be taken. We need to really understand the niche. We need to analyze the competition. We need to empathize with our customers and really map out the journey that they go through. So it doesn't really take a lot of budget to differentiate your brand. You just need to have a lot of creativity and a lot of empathy. So yeah. So here are 5 powerful ways that you could really uncover your brand's uniqueness. Even if you're a small business, even if no one knows who you are, even if you may not have that much of a budget, here are 5 powerful ways that you could uncover your brand's uniqueness and compete with larger companies. So the first is to take the time to really develop a signature approach. Especially if you're a B2B business. So developing a signature approach, that could be a really powerful way to differentiate your brand because, like I said earlier, some industries are more standardized than others, but a lot of times you don't really have to do what everyone else is doing. You can challenge industry assumptions on how things should be done, and you can develop your own signature approach to doing things. So it all starts with your perspective. So just by having a unique perspective, so it could be a unique perspective on your customers. It could be a unique perspective on the world as a whole. It could be a unique perspective on your industry. So when you're able to really develop a unique perspective, that's the first step to developing a signature approach that aligns with your unique perspective. So my question to you is, what are some of the core values? What are some of the core beliefs and the guiding principles that shape a lot of the decision-making inside your enterprise? So once you're able to really gain a clear understanding of what these are and what your perspective is, you can develop a signature approach to doing things that aligns with your unique perspective, that aligns with your core values, your core beliefs, your core principles. And also, like, what's your philosophy of doing things? How do you want to approach things that's different from all the others? So my question to you is, do you have a unique process? Do you have a unique process? So there are different ways to approach it. So for example, it could be a unique process to onboarding a client. It could be a unique process of delivering a service. It could be the process of how customers use your products. These are all examples of processes that you could really refine to make them more unique. It could even be the process of browsing through your website or the process of visiting your retail store. These are all branded touch points that allow us to create unique processes that allow our brands to stand out. So by developing a signature approach, that could be a really powerful way to take your brand to the next level. And it all starts with having a unique perspective. So the second way that you can really differentiate your brand is to express a unique personality. To express a unique personality. Because the way people think is our brains naturally are attracted towards things that have human-like characteristics. So when we develop our brands, we try to develop our brands to speak in a unique way with a unique personality and voice, so that way it feels much more humanized and less commoditized. So there are so many different ways that you could approach it. So for example, if everyone else in your industry is more serious, then maybe you could be more fun or more humorous. Or if everyone else in your industry is more affordable, then maybe you could be the more high-end, luxurious option. Or if everyone in your industry is much older, maybe you can be a more youthful option. Or if everyone else in your industry is more feminine, then maybe you can develop an option for men. And also, if everyone in your industry is more masculine, you could also develop an option for females. So there's so many ways for you to develop a unique personality for your brand. If everyone is more traditional, then maybe you could be more futuristic, more innovative. So my question to you is, what do your competitors have in common? So branding is kind of like an art form. It's all about finding patterns. So when you look at your competitors, you might notice things that they all have in common. So when you look at your competitors, what are some of the traits that they have in common? And this would provide you with opportunities for your brand to communicate in a different way. So what personality traits can really make your brand unique? So it's not just about the personality traits, it's also how these traits are being expressed, and they have to feel very authentic. They have to really resonate with people. So what are some unique personality traits that can really make your brand stand out? So my question to you is, how can you really express your brand in a more authentic way? So one powerful way to approach this is through design. So design is what really allows you to communicate your brand and express your brand's personality in a more meaningful and authentic way that really speaks to people from their first impression of seeing your brand through the entire experience that they have. So even just by being yourself, because everyone is unique, so just by being yourself, by being more authentic, that could be a really powerful way to really express a unique personality. So don't be shy. Like, you can get on camera, you can do video. So it's all about being creative in terms of how we communicate with our customers. So that's the next way to really differentiate your brand, is by expressing a unique personality. And then another way that you can really differentiate your brand that's really powerful is by creating a unique experience. By creating a unique experience. So the future of branding is all about the experience. It's all in the experience. So nowadays, large brands, they're all thinking about how can we really refine the experience that customers have so that it's much more compelling, it's much more appealing, much more attractive. So the future of branding is in the experience. And it's not just the online experience, it's also the offline experience. And everything is starting to merge together. And we're also seeing like new technologies like augmented reality. All these things really help us to blend the physical experience with the online experience. So when you're able to really map out the journey that customers go through, you could find opportunities to really improve the entire experience. So it could be their experience of browsing your retail store. It could be their experience of placing an order. These are all opportunities for you to really create a unique experience. So my question to you is, what kind of experience will your customers value the most? What kind of experience do you feel like your customers may value that other people aren't providing? So one example is maybe they want more creativity and expression. Maybe they want more creativity. Maybe they want more flexibility, more freedom. Or maybe they want more community. They want to feel like they belong. So these are all powerful ways to create a unique experience if no one else is offering that. So one example of a brand that does a great job at creating a unique experience is IKEA. So to those who don't know about IKEA, IKEA is a Swedish furniture giant. So one thing that they're really known for is creating unique retail experiences. So if you've ever been to IKEA, if you visit their store, you will notice that it's quite different from all the others. So when you visit an IKEA, it's not a place that you just go in and out. When you visit IKEA, it's a place where you spend your whole day in. That's how it's seen because of the design of their stores, because it's not a one-way trip. It's kind of like a maze in terms of how it's designed. So it's a maze that guides you through different offers, and you're constantly being exposed to all kinds of different offers. And they want you to see how it's going to look in your home. So all these things help to make it much more appealing, much more attractive, so that people spend more time in IKEA and people shop more at IKEA. So one idea that lies at the heart of the IKEA's retail experience is this thing called the IKEA effect. The IKEA effect. So the IKEA effect refers to the idea that the way customers think is they place more value in things that they created by themselves. They place more value in things that they participated in the creation of. So what IKEA does is they allow their customers to create their own furniture. So this allows customers to place more value on the furniture because they're the ones who created it. So this is really outside of the box thinking, but it really allows the IKEA experience to stand out by allowing their customers to be more creative and to create their own furniture. Another thing about IKEA is that they also have their own cafe. So after a long day of shopping through different products, you can relax, have some food or a nice drink. So all these things help to make the experience much more unique. So yeah, another powerful way to really differentiate your brand is by offering a unique selling proposition. So the unique selling proposition, it's also called the brand value proposition. And just as the name suggests, the unique selling proposition is basically just the unique value that you're proposing. What's the unique offer? There has to be some kind of unique offer that you're providing. So the idea of the unique selling proposition, it was coined by a man named Rotha Reeves. So Rotha Reeves was one of the biggest minds in advertising. So if you've never heard of Rotha Reeves, maybe you've watched the movie Mad Men. So the character Don Draper in the movie Mad Men was inspired by Rotha Reeves and his advertising genius. And he was the one who coined the concept of the unique selling proposition. So the unique selling proposition is all about answering the question of, if I was your ideal prospect, why would I buy from you rather than your competitors? So when other people are selling the same thing, what's the unique value that we're proposing? What are the unique gains that are received or pains that are relieved when customers buy from our brand? Because it's not enough to just be different. It has to be different in a valuable way, in the way that your customers value. It also has to be different in a way that's proven. So it has to be valuable and believable. So in your own personal life, you've probably come across an offer that was really unique, really valuable, but you just didn't believe it because there was no proof. So when you're developing your unique selling proposition, especially if it's something that's very compelling, I would highly recommend that you provide people with proof so that way you could alleviate any feelings of skepticism that they may have. So here are some powerful examples of unique selling propositions. So you've probably heard of Domino's. I don't know if you like their pizza, but their unique selling proposition is fresh hot pizza delivered in 30 minutes or less, or else it's free. So if you're someone that doesn't really eat pizza, then this proposition will mean nothing to you. But with this proposition, they're trying to appeal to the people who love pizza, who are hungry for pizza, people in college. So if they just said fresh hot pizza delivered in 30 minutes or less, then most people will not believe it. So by adding that it's free if it's not delivered in 30 minutes or less, that really helped to elevate their unique selling proposition and make it much more compelling, much more appealing to the target audience. Another example of a unique selling proposition is by FedEx. So FedEx, they're really known for their competency, a brand that you can trust, and their unique selling proposition was when it absolutely positively has to be there overnight. So with this proposition, they're positioning themselves as a brand that you can count on when you have a really time-sensitive package that you have to get delivered. So they're making this promise to their customers that you can count on FedEx, even if you need your offer to get there overnight, even if you need your package to get there overnight. So this was really crucial to their success, was that they were able to really offer something unique and create a brand that people could rely on, and create a brand that they can really count on and trust. Another example of a unique selling proposition is by Warby Parker. So to those who aren't familiar with Warby Parker is a brand that sells sunglasses. It's a new brand that sells sunglasses at affordable prices. So one thing that was crucial to Warby Parker's success is that they were able to really empathize with their customers, and they knew that one pain point to buying glasses online was that you're not going to be able to try them on. So a lot of people, they didn't buy glasses online because they wanted to be able to try them on. So what Warby Parker did was they were able to blend the online experience with the physical experience. So they were able to allow their customers to order glasses online and then try it on in the comfort of their home. So that way they're having more convenience, and then they can finally make the purchase based on what they like. So this was a really new thing. And it was also a really powerful proposition that was key to the success of their brand. Another really powerful way to really differentiate your brand from all the others is to explore a market opportunity. So a lot of people might be familiar with this man on the right-hand side, even though you don't see his face, but everyone knows who the first man on the moon was, and that it was Armstrong that was the first man on the moon. So that's similar to branding, is that when you're the first, you're much more differentiated and people are much more likely to remember you. So just by being the first to a market, that's a really powerful way to differentiate your brand, by being the first. So it's all about uncovering new opportunities for your brand to explore. So my question to you is, what is your industry lacking? What is the world lacking? And when you're able to really take the time to reflect on this, this would provide you with new opportunities for your brand to explore and to provide your industry with what it really needs. And also, like, what new trends are emerging? And what new technologies can you leverage to give your business an advantage? So there's so many trends that are emerging in the industry. We're seeing the rise of subscription services. Even in technology, we have artificial intelligence. We have, what else? The Internet of Things. These are all technological trends that can really give your brand a huge advantage. So it could also be trends in customer behavior. So when you look at your customers, what kind of trends are you seeing amongst different age groups? It might be among millennials, among baby boomers. This will all provide you with the right information to inform your overall strategy, so that way you can find a new opportunity that you can explore. And when you're able to find an opportunity, it's kind of like finding a gold mine, because it would really allow you to really take your brand to new heights and make history as the first to really seize that opportunity. So to those who still don't understand, let's talk about some examples of successful brands that were successful because they were able to really explore a new opportunity and become the first in their industry. So one example is Bevel. So Bevel was the first head-to-toe grooming brand, crafted for Black men and customized with the best ingredients for our skin and hair texture. So that's a really powerful thing that really makes Bevel very different, is that they were the first head-to-toe grooming brand. But so to a lot of people, it might seem obvious that Black men need to shave, but a lot of people weren't thinking about this at that time. But the founder, he was his own target audience, and he found a unique need that customers have, that a lot of Black males, they weren't being provided with the right grooming products to fit their unique needs. Because different races, different age groups, different genders, they all have unique needs. And when you're able to serve the unique need or uncover the unique need of a certain demographic, that could be a really powerful way for you to explore a new opportunity for your brand. Another example is Birchbox. So Birchbox launched the first beauty subscription box. Another example was Inspirato. So Inspirato was the first luxury travel subscription. So you can see the rise of subscription services, So even in every single industry, there are all kinds of new subscriptions that's coming out of the box. And lastly, everyone knows about Apple. So Apple, they're really known as a pioneer because they were able to really reinvent the smartphone and create something new. So when you look at all these new brands, this would really inspire you to really explore new opportunities that may exist. What are the opportunities where your brand can be the first? So by being the first to do something, that could be a really powerful thing. So here are some other ways that you can really differentiate your brand. So one is by really finding a niche and specializing. So a lot of people, they feel like they have to sell to every single person. They have to be everything to everyone, but you don't really have to be. So just by finding a niche and specializing, that could be a really powerful way to differentiate your brand, especially if you're B2B. Another way to really differentiate your brand is through a unique visual direction, So when I talk about a unique visual direction, I'm not just talking about just making your logo unique. I'm talking about how your brand looks as a whole. So it could be the design of your retail store. It could be the design of your product. It could be how your product is packaged. All these things will allow you to develop a more unique visual direction. And all these things would really allow your brand to stand out as different. Another way for you to really differentiate your brand is by providing complimentary offers and packages, especially if you're brand new. So the way you package your offers, that's a really powerful way to really communicate that your brand is more unique and more uniquely valuable. So what complimentary offers and packages can you offer with your main offerings to make your offers much more unique and much more tailored? What complimentary offers are other people not providing? These are all opportunities for you to differentiate your brand. Another powerful way to really differentiate your brand is by releasing uniquely valuable content, because content is key, because content is what really allows you to compete with companies that are 10 times your size. So by having uniquely valuable content, you can compete with larger companies with bigger budgets. And it doesn't take that much budget to have great content. You just need to have a lot of creativity, and it just needs to be interesting. So there are different kinds of content. There's inspiring content, there's educational content, and then there's entertaining content. So it's all about which kind of content will be most valuable based on who your target customers are. Another powerful way to really differentiate your brand is by providing customers with a unique outcome. So it's all about the outcome that customers receive. So like when customers buy from your brand or when they buy your product, what's the unique outcome that they get? How does it make their life improve? And how can you make them feel in a way that other brands don't? So it's not just about products and services, it's also about the outcome of your products and services. So two people can be selling the exact same thing, but your outcome can be completely different because it's able to really change people's lives in a completely different way. So by offering a unique outcome, that could be a really powerful thing. And last but not least, another powerful way to differentiate your brand is through personalization. So to those who don't know, personalization refers to the idea of a brand really taking the time to tailor its messaging, its products, its offers to fit the needs of the individual. So by providing customers with personalization, that could be a really powerful way to create a unique experience for your customers. So one brand that does this very well is Nike ID. So Nike ID allows customers to customize their shoes based on their own unique needs, their own unique design taste. So all these things help to give customers the opportunity to be more creative. And it also provides Nike with the data that they need based on what people like. So when customers customize their shoes, this tells Nike the kinds of shoes that customers want, the kind of colors that they like. And all these things help to improve the experience so that it gets better and better over time. So if you can provide customers with personalization and then use the data to improve your offers, improve your messaging, that could be another really powerful thing. So here are the final thoughts. So it's much better to be different than to be better. So you don't have to feel like you have to spend a ton of money to be better than larger companies. Just by being different, that could be a really powerful thing. And also, just by having a unique perspective, that could give you a huge advantage over others. And the way customers think is they tend to connect with brands that have a uniquely authentic personality. So the brand needs to feel really authentic. And also, the future of branding is in the experience. So it's all about how can we refine the experience and improve the experience that customers have so that it's much more compelling, so that they keep coming back. Also, it's really important to have a unique selling proposition before you begin marketing. So what can you offer that other people aren't offering? And also, by exploring a new market, you can go down in history as a pioneer in your industry by being the first to do something. So it's not that difficult to differentiate your brand. It just takes a lot of creativity and a lot of grit and a lot of empathy to really uncover new opportunities for your brand to stand out when you're in a highly competitive field. So let's dive into the Q&A.
Go ahead and unshare your screen.
Okay.
Okay, everyone. Here's your opportunity to pick his brains, an industry expert.
I have a question.
Sure.
Can I go ahead and ask it?
You sure can.
Okay, my question is this. I have a photography business, and I'm wondering, what is the value of social media in terms of creating a lot of content, putting it out there to customers who really you don't know? My experience has been, my business has been when I come in contact with physical people and talk to them. So my question is, is there a real value in putting a lot of content on social media? Or is it, maybe LinkedIn, or maybe there's other sites that you should use? That's basically my question. I hope I was clear enough.
Okay, so yeah, so social media is simply a tool. It's simply a tool for your business. So whether it is valuable or not, it all depends on who's using it and how it's being used. So if you really know how to use social media, then it becomes a really powerful thing. But if you don't really know how to use it, then I would recommend that you either learn how to use it or hire someone or explore a different approach to your marketing strategy.
So there's actually options where you could actually use the internet where you can earn an income?
Excuse me?
I said there's actually options where you could use the internet and turn it into income for your business?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you have a huge audience. So when you're able to build your audience, you can monetize your audience and create more income for your brand.
And that's the key there, right? Isn't it, Eddie? It's not just the fact that you put it on social media, but that you have the followers and you have an audience that's
And they're actually
following you.
engaged. Yeah.
And so,
Absolutely.
I'll share with you that Eddie, I went kicking and screaming, but he finally convinced me that the chamber needed to increase our presence in social media. So we actually hired Eddie's group to do daily posts for us Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
That too, the time it takes just to be able to put the content, put it out. It's just, I just tried to find other ways to generate income, and that's been a little bit successful for me.
Yeah, so it's all about uncovering your strengths, right? So ideally, when it comes to social media, you have to really know what you're doing, or else it's going to be really time consuming and frustrating. So you would have to either really know what you're doing, number one, or hire someone that does. And then if you can't, then you would have to then explore another method. That's pretty much what it boils down to. Yeah.
Okay.
Eddie, could you, so I'm just curious here, but since we just went through this exercise with you for like the last month, does it matter what you're posting? Because I know you were beating up on us about what we were putting on social media.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So like
expand on that. So i.e. Otis, are you putting pictures out there, or are you putting
yes.
Eddie, you wanted us to do testimonials, you wanted us to do examples of offerings and things of that nature. So you're kind of like really narrow and saying, Ken, this is what you need to put out there folks to see.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that
absolutely.
One of the things I was that I put out there was images from my work. It's just that I'm not creating work all the time. So what am I posting in between the time that I'm not creating work and I'm trying to find leads and things of that nature? What am I putting? I'm trying to figure out what is it that I should be investing time in to put out there.
Yeah, so I would say the first starting point is the goal. So like your goal will determine your overall social media strategy. So for example, if your goal is lead generation, then just posting on social media isn't going to generate leads right now.
Exactly.
Organic posting on social media is a longer term strategy. It's more of like a longer term investment. It's more of like you're building your audience and keeping them engaged so that in the future, when you have new offers, you have people that you can promote to and reach out to. So if you're looking for lead generation, then that's a completely different strategy.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm. And then when it comes to posting, like I said earlier, there are different approaches to content. So for example, you can post educational content, you can post inspiring content, or you can post entertaining content.
Quick question for
What
you.
about
What
like
is
what
the
your strong points are, huh?
quick question? What is the frequency of posting those type? Once you decide whether it's education or whatever format you want to use, what is the frequency of that? How frequent are you posting?
Yeah, the frequency depends on the channel, but usually it's about 3 to 5 times a week. Because a lot of times, especially on platforms like LinkedIn, people tend to switch off over the weekend. So there's less engagement over the weekend. So I would say probably like usually like 3 to 5 times, but ideally 5 times a week is perfect. Yeah. 5 times a week. Yeah. So it all depends on the channel that you're in. So if you want to manage your own social media, I would just say do some research into the channel that you're on and try to find out like the kinds of content, because
Can
some
I-
channels are more visual, they prefer more video like Instagram, and then some channels are more written. So it also depends on the channel as well.
Question for you. So there are companies out there that will provide those services where you can actually get paid services where you can measure success, where you can actually see where your followers are actually increasing. They're not fake followers, they're real followers. So is there a company out there where you'd have those kind of measurable ways to be able to determine whether or not it's a sound investment for your business if social media is that important?
Well, I'm trying to understand your question.
The question is having someone to manage your social media a valuable investment for a small business? Is it something that can be measured? It's measurable. If you're
Yeah,
putting
yeah,
out the money.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. There are lots of different metrics that you could use to measure the progress you're making in your social media. So for example, your engagements rates, it could be the reach that you're getting. So all these things are metrics to help you to measure like how much progress you're making. Yeah. And also like, so for example, if your goal is lead generation, then you would probably want to like run ads. But the thing about, so for example, if your goal was lead generation, then you would just run ads, or you would invest in some kind of lead generation tool. So if you're running ads, then you can have a more clear idea of the kind of return on investment you're getting, because you're seeing like the cost per click and you're comparing that to the income that you're making.
Right.
So that's how you could really tell the value of your ad campaign, but you would have to really know what you're doing. And at the same time, if you're looking for a more longer term strategy of growing a following, the benefit of growing a following is that it makes your brand look more credible. So when people see that you have a large following and that your page looks really good, that would really help to influence their decision. I've even had people tell me personally that the reason why they chose was because they saw all the followers and then they just concluded that the brand must be really good. So when you have a lot of followers, it just helps to make your brand more credible, but it doesn't have a direct impact on sales. So, but it's still important, yeah, because if they just see that your brand has no followers, no engagement, no content, all these things will just make your brand not look very good, especially when your competitors are doing much better. So,
But I was in the photography field. I mean, when you look at the images, I mean, when you compare the images that have been created by my competitors, with the images that I created myself, they appear to be very similar. It's just that I'm not known, and then some of them are.
Yeah, so just a matter of making yourself known, because familiarity is a really powerful thing, right? So one key takeaway is we shouldn't underestimate the power of familiarity. Once people recognize you, once you're able to really put your voice out there and really connect with people, do video. Like I said earlier, like you're your brand's #1 spokesperson. So it's all about just really presenting yourself in the right way. And then that way you can naturally attract more people to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, another thing I would recommend is that, we need to invest more into professional photography. Because like when I look at our MBCC website, a lot of people, they don't have photographs. So, if any of you still doesn't have a good photograph, you definitely need to take the time to invest in professional photography, because that's a key part of building your brand and looking more credible. So it's not enough to just do selfies. You need to have a professional photograph that really presents you in the right way. And once you do it one time, you can use it over and over again for the next 10 years. So it's definitely worth it. Yeah. So we'll talk about it further in our next presentation on building brand trust and credibility as well.
And I had a quick question. I came in a little later when Otis was talking. I dropped a question. When he said he's quote unquote not known, my inquiry for you and everybody else, like, who's your target audience? Who do you want to be known with? Like, so I was just curious, like, are you looking for organizations or individuals?
Yeah, I can you hear me?
Loud and clearly.
Oh, okay. I do have a target audience. My target audience are employees, well, companies with small businesses, service businesses with employees of 50 to 100, where I can create branding type images, like was just mentioned, that can be used, all the time. It's an upgrade to what you have now. It's a high quality product. It's just getting out there competing and letting people know that I'm capable of creating this. And I'm able to go to the site and, create with a certain amount of space, able to go to the site, set up, get your headshots, and then you can go directly to the internet. Whenever, do some editing, light retouching of it, and it's ready to go to the internet. So that when he was talking about uniqueness, I understood exactly what he was talking about. But as I said, don't nobody know it, and trying to get people to know it. So I've been investing in, programs like this, and also, doing a little research and doing Montgomery College to try to, work on my marketing piece. I believe that the content is there, but like right now, it's just nobody knows who I am.
Excellent, Otis. Thank you so much. I know we want to keep it moving. If you want to go ahead and drop in the chat your Instagram or anything else you want these 25 people on the call to know you, that could increase your reach today.
Okay.
Right?
Thanks so much.
Great interaction there. Anyone else have any questions for us today? Comments?
Any thoughts or?
Going once? No. Tanya, did you have anything else? No. Okay. So I'm assuming that all the information Eddie gave you was really, really great information, and you understand what the next step is in increasing your brand, right?
No, I thought he made a good presentation because it reinforced what the course that I taken at Montgomery College. So I thought he presented it really, really well. I understood it. And by the way, I've been in Brooklyn. I've seen those when I'm going down. Is that Atlantic Avenue? Going toward the Brooklyn Bridge. It's just advertising everywhere. Wherever you look up, it's on the side of the building. It's digital. It's right there. And if you go at night, man, it's incredible. So that hooked me in when he started talking about that. So I thought his presentation was done very well.
Great. I see Valerie has her hand up. Valerie, go ahead.
So I also think it's a great presentation. I know for me as a travel agent,
already, I know what my brand is, and of course, the social media aspect of it, because there's a lot of people who now think that they're actual travel agents. So that's the difficulty is trying to separate myself from those people, because everyone who travels is not necessarily a travel agent. And within, like, since the pandemic, everyone that travels now puts things on social media, and social media is not my strong suit, even though I'm working on it. But my aspect is basically taking this and trying to market myself in person. And the in-person part is where I get a little bit sticky. But also, like, I wrote down some things and trying to figure out how I can now convert the offers, going to trade shows and making myself more visible in person, because I do better one-on-one with people versus trying to connect with someone on social media. So I appreciate what he said, and I did take some notes down and hoping to implement some of these.
I got a couple of comments. One, I like what Denise said earlier to Otis about utilizing the 25 people on this in this webinar here. So please feel free. I mean, the chamber is a good place to start. If you want to start networking and getting to know people and talking about your brand, you can talk one-on-one and say, what did you think of this? And you'll be in a comfort zone. So please utilize the chamber as a resource. And I'm curious to know, in travel agents, do you see a lot of competition on social media or out there marketing? I don't see a lot of travel agents out there.
I think our competition now is mostly, what do they call them? Social media stars or something. There are lots of travel agents, but there are, so like on TikTok, I don't have TikTok, but I hear everybody saying that I need to be on TikTok, but I just cannot add one more thing to my plate that I need to figure out. So video content is how they get their clients, but I also don't think that I can connect with my clients on social media, because my clients are mostly parents who would love to expose their kids to travel or travel with their parents, but with their kids, but they're just too busy to do it, and multi-generational travel, and eventually trying to branch out back to corporate travel, because that's what I used to do prior. I don't see me finding my clientele on social media, because I don't stay that much time on social media. So I don't see 40 and above on social media as much. But then again, that may be where I'm losing, because I don't think they're there because I'm not there, but they may be on there. So that's the conflict that we're in right now, is you see a lot of videos from social media stars that are not necessarily my competition, but that's what people see.
Valerie, so many things bubbled up for me when you just said that. Our bottom line, 30 seconds or less. If you're going for parents and you're thinking about the kids, I think about the school system. A lot of my clients, when I ask that question with Otis, who's your target audience, you go where they are. If it's parents, you see behind me Cascade Falls, but I am definitely outreaching. If it's getting in their newsletters, if it's your corporations and you're going out for higher ed, whoever the HR departments are, letting them know you exist and then getting in their newsletters. So
Hey, can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
I'm sorry. How are you getting that information? Who to contact by way of email? Because I went on real quickly. I went on the internet. Like, for example, I was trying to reach out to the colleges and universities, American University, Maryland, all the local universities, trying to find out who I could contact. How do you find out who the real contact person is to send email? Because I have that program called HubSpot, where I can send out multiple emails. So how are you finding out the legitimate person that you can send an email to?
I'm within the system, so that would be my bottom line question or response.
Okay.
Another
okay,
thing
okay.
that I typically have done that has been real, I would say successful for me as a business owner, if I'm going after, let's say, if it's a community college or if it's higher ed, I find out who is their, the podcasters, or if they have a broadcasting system, a radio station, just putting a nice little blurb out and reaching out to that individual and saying, I'm available, keynote speaking, to speak and talk to people on their platforms. So that's been an opportunity there as well. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
a lot of these schools, they actually have the contact info on their website. It's just a matter of knowing
Mhm.
where to check. It's also a numbers game. So you would reach out to different people and then a fraction of them would respond positively.
Mhm.
It might also be about consistency. So if you're trying to reach, for example, busy people, then you might need to follow up with them a little bit more.
Otis, if you're going after higher ed as well, look at these institutions that have an entrepreneurship program. I know the Maryland Black Chamber of Commerce is definitely economic development corporations are also resourceful. And if you're looking at, especially the business owner that was talking about corporations or the school systems, find out again which organizations of his universities have entrepreneurship studies institutes, and you can come in as a keynote speaker. Just let them know, hey, I would love to come in and support your students and speak to them in this capacity, and then you
Can
get
I-
your growth coverage.
Can I ask you
Yeah.
just one other quick question? So when I'm going in there, I'm going in as an expert. I mean, I know a lot about photography, but I'm going in as an expert, and because I'm going in with my brand, right? That's what I'm doing. I'm going in with my brand. I'm going to explain a subject about photography, which I can do. But that's kind of different for me going in as an expert, even though I know the subject. But that's essentially what you're saying, do that can be done.
I'm saying that's another marketing strategy.
Okay.
This is also where social media comes in, because a lot of times when you reach out to people, no matter what it's for, the first thing that they would probably do is search for you online. They're going to look at your social media pages. They're going to look for your website. All these things would increase their chances of even responding to you in the first place.
So that's why you're saying build up your followers, invest in build up your followers, because people are going to be going to the page and they're going to make a decision about whether or not you're worthy to be used based on your followers.
Not just the followers, that's part of it, but also just how you're being presented, like, your following, how the page looks, the kind of content, the website. Especially if you're trying to, so for example, if it's a brand trying to get into retail, that's like a key part of like getting selected, because your social media page would need to really pop and it needs to really make your brand look credible. A lot of these brands that are on social media, they're actually not that awesome, but they were able to invest the time into making their social media page pop. And that's what really helped to open more opportunities for them, because they were able to putting that work into improving your social media presence or your website. Yeah.
I see that Denise has been patiently waiting with her hand up. Denise, go ahead.
Sure.
Sorry. I first of all, LaTanya, I wanted to thank you. I had never thought about the idea of asking your customers to put you in their newsletters. I think that's a great idea. If you have ongoing work with clients, absolutely. Why not? I also wanted to tell you, Otis, you just have to put the legwork in. You can't just get on the phone and say, I'm trying to, reach so-and-so. You have to put the legwork in and remember that it's really about relationship building, so what is it? You get more flies with honey, and I think that when you get to know somebody, they'll be able to or feel much more comfortable in sharing a little bit more inside information about who are the influencers and who are the deciders.
Thank you.
And I want to add to that. And I promise you, I'm not trying to do a plug for the chamber, but I'm just trying to really emphasize the value of the chamber.
Put the plug in.
I can't give you.
Put the plug in.
But Otis, I can't give you like a phone number saying you call this person, they're going to hook you up. But I can tell you that we have partnerships with the University of Shady Grove. We have partnerships with Montgomery College. We have partnerships with Prince George's Community College. We have professors at Bowie State. We have professors at Morgan State. We have professors at University of Baltimore. So we're doing a major event with Bowie State next in a couple of weeks. But so if you come out there and meet people, you can meet people. And again, people do business with people they like. So then you may find a relationship that works that they can say, hey, call my buddy over here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
I did want to mention one more thing too. Morgan has an entrepreneurship hub for Black entrepreneurs. And that's a great place to also.
You said Bowie State?
Morgan.
Oh, Morgan State.
And it's a great opportunity for any one of us to speak about our expertise. And I found it to be useful when I've gone, over the years to their.
You've gone there and made presentations?
I have not, although I hope to soon. I have gone and sat in on many other presentations and have found it useful.
Oh, so you're saying, if I understand you correctly, you're saying they have presentations there?
Yes.
Oh my God.
They would have a conference,
Wow.
Like a couple of days, 2 or 3 days. But they have a program there that supports students and Black entrepreneurs as well.
That's
So
on the website.
Any one of us could probably capitalize on that. And then
would you find that on their website, the entrepreneur program?
Google is your best friend.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I'm going to
I
share with
found
you.
that you can also consider other search engines too, because not just Google, but there's also Bing, there's Ecosia, there's Yahoo. So like,
I will share with all of you that on September 12th, there is a statewide event taking place at Bowie State. It's the MBE networking, and it's going to have like the Governor's Office of Small Business and Women-Owned Affairs. It's going to have MDOT. It's going to have all the prime contractors, all the government agencies. Governor Westmore is going to be doing the keynote at lunchtime. They're going to have all the vendors for all the state programs there.
Where can we get the information for? Where can we get more information?
What I will do, Melissa, are you on? Are you still on here?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of the MBE flyer? MBE at Bowie?
No, I can find it though.
We sent it to the board. If we don't have it, if she can't get it up in a couple of minutes, I'm going to put my contact information in the chat.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
You want to reach out to me. There's also a big event coming up in November at the MGM. It's another statewide networking event. And then they're going to take this MDE, once it's done at Bowie, they're going to take it up to Coppin State. So there's going to be some great opportunities out there for people to get out there and network.
For sure. Thank you.
I think they did that.
Fantastic.
Okay. Just put my contact info out there. All right. Any other questions? Great conversation, great dialogue there, Eddie. As usual, great information. And look, we'll see you. We have the next one is on the 7th, September 7th. And do you know what that one's covering, Eddie? I have elevate brand on everything. Do you know what we're covering on that one?
Yeah, so in our next presentation, we will talk about building brand trust and credibility. Because when you have a brand that's more trustworthy and credible, that would really increase your chances of achieving your goals. Whether if you want people to buy from you or contact you, it all starts with being trustworthy and being credible. And then our final presentation, we'll be talking about achieving brand clarity, just achieving a crystal clear brand.
So with that said, by way of registering for these webinars, you're added to our database. So make sure you're getting our stuff and it's not going to junk. You should be getting a weekly newsletter with upcoming events and all the activity that we're engaged in. And if you're following us, hey, check this out, Eddie. I get an A+. And if you're following us on social media, you'll see the post that Eddie's posting daily for the chamber.
Yeah.
So what is you're on Instagram and LinkedIn?
We are posting on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Okay.
So you can follow us on both of those platforms.
Yeah. Great.
All right, with that said, folks, thank you, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Oh, you know what? And now she found the flyer. If you're still
I
on,
see it. I see it. I see
if
it.
you're still on, it's in the chat.
I do. I see it.